Hi there, welcome to our channel. I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we are Envy Board Gaming. And today we're looking at Watergate. This is a two-player only game designed by Matthias Kramer and published by Capstone Games. Nick is going to give an overview of how you play, and then we're going to give our reviews.
All right, we're here set up for Watergate. And as you imagine, it's a two-player game because this is a two-player only game. It says it right there in the box. You're either going to play as Nixon or you're going to play as a journalist. So what you're trying to do in this game, if you're Nixon, you're trying to gain momentum. You're trying to get these red markers and go ahead and stall out the progress of the journalist who is trying to connect these individuals over here to Nixon, and they are the informants. So we have those right here. So the journalist is going to try to get informants and try to connect some lines over here, some pieces of evidence in order to do that. So you're going to have to do two people, two informants, and then you'll win the game if you're the journalist. So Nixon's just trying to avoid that. And they can speed up the game by getting the momentum marker here. So you're trying to, it's a balancing act here. Both players are going to have their own deck of cards. Whoever has initiative is going to draw 5 of those cards, and the other player will draw 4 of those cards. On the board, we have 3 pieces of evidence face down, and we have an initiative marker and a momentum marker. This is what Nixon really wants right there, but they have to go ahead and mitigate some other things that are being pushed and pulled away from them. So they can't just focus on one thing. On your turn, with your cards that you have, you're going to play it for whatever reason you might. You might play it for action points here. You might play it for the event here. If you play it for an event, you might have to remove the card. It'll say all that on the card. So let's go over the action points. If I don't want to play the event, I will go ahead and do action points. I can do 1 space, that's what that means, for any blue piece of evidence. And what that means is on the board right here, there's blue, there's green, there's yellow, and that represents the administration or the recordings and whatnot. That represents all different things thematically. This is a very thematic game. I can say that I'm going to move 1 blue evidence, or I'm going to move a marker of my choosing. It can be the initiative marker. It could be the momentum marker. Since I don't know these are face down, I have to ask my opponent who that is. So that being the journalist, Nixon already knows what this is. So since this player is doing Nixon, they know what this is. They know what's here. They don't have to ask anyone. Nixon is the only one that knows what piece of evidence. So I could, if I were Nixon and I wanted to do that action, I would then expose this piece of evidence and move it 1 space closer to me. In which case, this is actually Nixon. So this board is a little, I have it reversed actually, the way we're looking at it. This way is actually Nixon. You can see that right here. And this is the journalist. Push it down here. So in this case, I would move it 1 right there. Alternatively, and more likely what I would do if I didn't play the event, is move the momentum token 1 space toward Nixon. And that would be my action if I did not want to do the event. I get to pick which card I do. So again, if this one, same situation, this one moves a lot more powerful, moves 4. Now, let's talk about the events. Here, this one is really good because I can secure the support of one of these informants. I'm going to call them informants or associates. So right here we had James McCord. So I can look at James McCord. I'm going to flip it and show that it's all crossed out. So now McCord is not someone at the moment that they could influence into be an informant because I have earned the support. I've bribed them or whatever. I earned their support. So they're not going to narc me out. On the card here that the journalists get, they get bonuses for at least having 3 momentum. So they're going to get certain bonuses for that. The first 2 won't give them anything. They're just trying to, not let Nixon get all the momentum there. So we're just doing that back and forth. We're either playing events down here. There's a bunch of events in here. Draw 1 evidence token from the bag and pin it face up to the evidence board. Let's do that. Let's say the informant did that. They would draw 1. It's a green, and they could put it anywhere in the green. At the end of the round, they're also going to move, once the round ends, they're also going to move this momentum token 1 space their way. When that happens, so let's say we did that, we're going to try to work our way down here by connecting other greens. So if they were to earn this one, they can move it over here, or here, or here, whatever. Anywhere that's green, or since it's a wild, they can move it on a yellow instead and try to do that. So they're just placing their evidence out here and trying to make sure they have influence with certain people. It'll be useless if it'll go to somewhere that there is no person. So you want to make sure you've played a card that you've earned the influence of somebody. So like an informant here, you've earned a recruit, Rosemary Woods. Well, you can put Rosemary Woods out on the board here and try to connect. So Rosemary goes right here where it says Woods ? Now this person isn't crossed out, so I would go ahead and try to make this link. And as soon as I have 2 of those links, I'm going to win. If anything else happens, pretty much, Nixon's going to win. The way Nixon wins, again, is if they fill up the entire card with these momentum markers, or we run out of momentum markers from the supply. That would be a lot more rare. So Nixon most likely is going to win by filling out 5 momentum markers before 2 informants are linked to Nixon. And there you go. That's how you play. All right, so there it is. That's how you play Watergate. A nice little 2-player game, back and forth. Right away, I'm going to start out by saying we've played Twilight Struggle. We've played 13 Days, which is a smaller scale, Twilight Struggle.
Yeah.
And we played this. So let's just see how they stack out. Right out the gate, it doesn't look very impressive, the board. It looks, a little dry. It's, you're not sure what to expect, but you already know going into this, most likely you know that it's similar to Twilight Struggle. And actually looked better than Twilight Struggle right there. It's not as busy. It looks a little more new than Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, Twilight Struggle looks kind of dated.
The box looks good. It's by Capstone, which is good. We like Capstone games generally. Maracaibo, I believe, is a Capstone game, and I think we have Curious Cargo. We have several Capstone games. So, what do we like? What do we not like? I will start out by saying things I like. I like the informants. I like the history of these things. Very cool that you can earn the support of informants in this game. Thematic. I like the pushing and pulling, the same thing you expect from a game like that.
Yeah.
And I think it improves upon both of the other games. So I will spoil that. It replaces 13 Days for me. I don't see any need for 13 Days. I would like to play it again before I sell it. And I do enjoy 13 Days more than Twilight Struggle, which is going to be blasphemy the most. But Twilight Struggle, we played, let me preface this, we played 13 Days before we played Twilight Struggle. So we knew what Twilight Struggle was doing, but we already played a condensed version of it, a quicker version of it.
Yeah.
Then he tossed us this one, which is more drags out. Like, I already had this experience.
Yeah.
Like, just get to the point.
So many rounds over, long.
Had that been reversed, had we played Twilight Struggle first, we may have had a totally different view of Twilight Struggle versus 13 Days. So I will preface that.
I can see that, yeah.
I like what we're doing in this game. It's fun. I like the back and forth. I feel like it's balanced. I feel like either way you can win this game. And I like all the consideration for what you're tugging and pulling. You're not just pulling evidence. You're not just pulling momentum. You're not just pulling initiative. You're doing all these things.
Yeah, there's many things to consider, yeah.
Yep, and it's thematic in the way you're tying the evidence to the particular informant. They could be somebody from the administration that we might be tugging information from, or the recordings. It's the way they are positioned on the board is even supposed to be thematic. So everything about this game, if you like a good theme history game, yeah, this is a good one. Watergate is a really strong one. It's not political. It doesn't condemn anything, really. I don't see anything there to offend people on either side. You're just playing a game. You're playing as you can view it as you're playing Nixon. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You're trying to win regardless. You can be completely anti somebody and still play as them in this game. It's not like you're playing Hitler. You're playing, this guy who spied on his office, I guess the Democrats or something.
Yeah.
It's by today's standards probably a pretty small deal.
Yeah, pretty milquetoast, yeah.
Yeah, but there it was. For me, I think it's a good game. What do you got for positives? What do you got for negatives? You got any negatives?
Yeah, no, I'll start with the positives. Yeah. I thought that it was really good back and forth, cat and mouse. I'm seeing what you're doing. I'm trying to anticipate the evidence that you're going to try to bring to your side, and the guessing of what color evidence is in that stack. Really kind of cool. There's so many things, as you said, to consider about momentum and the initiative. Thank you. Initiative. What that's going to get you. If you can get the momentum, and then you start scoring that, and you're watching your opponent. Okay, it looks like they're going for momentum because they've got their red tokens adding up on the card. But then you got to watch the board because you could try to see the connection they're building out, and they can go around, and maybe they've already taken so many of the informants. The that you may feel like, oh, I'm going to have to pivot. So there's a lot of ways to pivot in the game. You're not lost. Lots of different strategies to employ, which is fun. So you're not just trying, like with Thunder and Lightning for as far as two-player games go, and I know this isn't quite the same, but if we think about a game that has cards and it's two-player only, that one is very singular, very one-dimensional. You know that you're just trying to basically get that ring from the opponent or get that special. But with this one, there is just so much to consider and different ways to win. So it's a lot of fun, highly portable. We brought this game with us on a trip that we did recently, and it was good to have a small little box that opens up, doesn't take up too much space. I wouldn't say it's compact or mini. I wouldn't call it a mini game. But, you could find a place for it. Mm-hmm. You can definitely find a place for it. And I thought that the component quality was pretty strong. We got some thick cardboard for the informants. And the board itself, I know Nick said it looked a little drab, but, it's a giant cork board of evidence and connections linked together. So it's meant to be thematic, and it's better than just a bunch of boxes out with lines. So I'll give them that. I don't have much else in the positives. I just had a lot of fun with it, and like Nick said, compared to the other games, I would still keep 13 Days in my collection, personally, for me, because I like it. I like the DEF CON and some of the tension that comes from it. I feel like there was more tension in 13 Days, in my opinion, whereas this one was more undoing or move or kind of battling or give and take with your opponent. That's the distinction I drew with it.
We're gonna play 13 Days again and see, because really quickly, the cards in this game are absolutely awesome. I love the cards. Even if you don't play it, like it isn't the right situation, you look at it like, wow, in the right situation, this card is super interesting.
Yeah,
it totally twists. It could even things out where things that look like they lost hope, things that it just totally turns the game on its head. I love the cards in this game. I love them. I think that's why it replaces it. It's the same type of game, but the cards are so much better in this game than 13 Days.
Yeah, I agree on that, for sure.
We'll have to play 13 Days again and see if we should keep it or not after playing Watergate.
Yeah, definitely. So not much negative. Maybe the game ends too quickly if you're not very good. It could be pretty quick, but not a long drawn-out game. So if you're wanting something snappy, 2 players only,
30 to 60 minutes.
Yeah, it's really, really quick. So my score for this, I'm giving it an 8.2. Had a lot of fun, would play it anytime with you. Like that we can go back and forth. You can be Nixon, I can be the editor, the team of journalists, and then we can switch. So you can right away play 2 games of sequentially.
Yeah,
because you just pass back and forth, and you're going to want to, for sure, because that was a cool card they had last time. I want to see if I can get in on that. And then the fact that you're losing some cards versus discarding them, the multi-use cards, that was another thing I wanted to mention. I like that you can use them for different things. You don't have to necessarily play the action. You could try to use them for moving evidence or adjusting the momentum or the initiative.
Yeah.
Yes.
The strongest thing I'm going to say about this game is where games like Memoir 44, where you want to trade sides immediately, this one, you actually, yes, you want to try the other side, but you saw some cards in your hand that you didn't get to play, and you would love the chance to play those cards and play that character in the future. That's what's really cool about this game. You're not necessarily going to want to switch sides, maybe. You may be like, let's try a rematch, because I like to see if these cards I get to play that really get you. And other teams probably think the same thing. You know what? I had some good cards I didn't play. I want to see if I can get you, so let's go. And, if the stars align or whatever, it doesn't seem like it's even that low of odds for those things to happen. Just maybe they didn't happen in our few games that we've played. But it's cool that I want to play, unlike Memoir 44, where, yes, I want to switch sides. We don't want to play the same map, same people again.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah.
Not happening. We're switching sides. This one, I'm perfectly fine. Do you want to play that character again? I'll play this one again. Let's go. Super fun. So my score is going to be similar to Vic's again, 8-4. That's 2 reviews in a row where we were off by 0.2. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we really enjoyed this game. We had a fun time, learned it on the fly pretty quick, not too difficult. There are some things that you have to, know, terms that you have to absorb, but I wouldn't call this game even, super complex.
No,
I would give it
medium.
a pretty, I was going to say medium. I didn't want to say easy. You got to watch the easies when I say something's easy.
Sure.
It's definitely medium score. I think you should pick it up. If you have only one other person that you play a lot of games with, why not just add it? You can have another 2-player fun game to bust out, and it's quick. Thank you so much for watching today. We hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give us a like, thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more great videos. We'll see you next time.
Bye.